with Bill in it. You know, when he's the lecturer.
Yeah, it'll be season 10, yeah.
It's called World Enough in Time. I think it's his season finale.
It was the season finale, World Enough in Time.
What season was that, Carmen?
I don't know, 10, 11?
Oh, it's season 10. That was it, season 10.
Is it 10? So I'm talking out my
Yeah,
ass.
because Jodie Whittaker's first season was 11.
Okay, yeah, season 10. Alright, cheers, mate.
Alright, you're live, you rang me during a live stream, so everyone's just been listening to this conversation, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're live streaming now?
Yeah, like
right. If I swore, I'm very sorry.
Don't you? Fucking, how dare you swear?
Yeah.
Fucking swear at me.
Tell your mates if they want to learn to play guitar to come to me. Tell them I'm brilliant.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, tell them you take after me. Runs in the family.
Okay, sound, I will.
Yeah, modesty is another one of our attributes.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, alright, mate. Listen, I'll let you get on. Alright, folks.
Bye. Bye. Let me know what you think as well of the episode. It's good.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, if I can fucking find it. Yeah.
Oh, is that swearing again, Dad? Swearing again.
Sorry, World Enough in Time. That's the one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alright, got it. Alright, cheers, mate.
Bye.
Thank you. Right, bye.
Right.
They did Bill so dirty in that episode.
They did. Oh, alright, yeah, so hello everyone. It's another one of these live streams where I'm going to be working on a character model. Well, actually not working on the model, I'm going to be rigging it. Well, not rigging it, well, doing the face rig. You know, the mouth and the eyes and the everything else and the expressions, you know, with shape keys. It's a pretty laborious process. So I thought I might as well just stream it for once, as a record, at least to myself, in case I ever forget how to do it. So everyone just sort of gets settled. I don't even know. Hang on.
I'd be concerned if you forgot to do it.
Well, I've been doing it for about 7 years, Carmen. So what do you think? Everyone, this is Carmen, and if you haven't already met her.
Hi.
If anyone's wondering who she is or where she came from, I won her in a Christmas cracker. Or a Kinder Egg, I'm not sure. But she's cool. Hi, Carmen.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Come here and say hello to everyone. Come and give them good wishes.
Hold on.
Wish them well.
I'm drawing fur.
But they need some of your gnome magic, Carmen.
Okay, give me just a second.
I think Carmen's a gnome. Or a fucking grandma
I'll
or
appear
something.
behind you whenever you don't expect it, and I'll just sort of stand there ominously.
Don't do that, Carmen. Because I'll see you in the thing unless it's on a delay, in which case I won't, and I'll shit my pants. You wouldn't want me to shit myself. You wouldn't want me to shit my pantaloons live on air, would you? In front of 300 people.
That would be a bit unfortunate.
Fucking would be a bit unfortunate. If anyone's curious about the Winifred animation test, it is coming. It's just rendering. It's just rendering. You'll see why it's taking so long. In fact, I might be able to just like snatch a quick frame from. It might take a bit because I'll need to like just render one. Let's pick a frame. I decided to go a certain direction with the very last shot. I'm starting to regret it, but oh, it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's funny, Carmen. Yeah, I think it's fucking funny. Laughing at me in my turmoil.
It'll look good in the end.
I don't need that attitude, Carmen. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll render one of those frames and see what people think. I'll do my best to answer some questions. So, any questions, just shoot them over. I've got my iPad this time, so I can hang on. So I can get the stream up on my iPad and then work simultaneously, so I can actually see what's happening in the chat. Because previously, in my old office, that's weird. In my old office, the internet wouldn't extend as far as it was like a Faraday cage where just nothing, just got in. It was like a lead chamber, and the only way I was able to get internet from my computer was by running a Wi-Fi booster cable through the house. But now this is our new home. We're currently in the office, or the loft space, which we're sort of working on.
It's pretty nifty.
Shh, Carmen, did you use that word
So
nifty again?
It's so nifty.
You know you're not supposed to say that word.
It's nifty.
That's it, Carmen. That's it now. Carmen's sense of humor came from, I don't know, like the 1980s or the 1970s, where everything was pretty wacky and cool and radical. Carmen's concept of cool is the concept of cool you get on Nickelodeon. You know, so to other people, cool is, you know.
Honk is very cool.
so to other people, you know.
How do you do, fellow kids?
to other people, cool is being able to do a 360 no scope, you know, or getting to round or whatever the fuck on Fortnite, whatever you kids are into these days. But her concept of cool is rocking up on a skateboard with sunglasses, going, "Yo, that's."
I have a friend who can skateboard. Like,
Can you skateboard?
Hell no. I'll break every bone in my body if I try to skateboard.
I'm getting you a skateboard. Okay, we got some.
Give me a scooter. I want to be like Oliver Tree.
Oh well, yeah, I like scooters. Someone just said the bee's knees, Carmen.
They know what's up.
Fuck me. Right.
Hell
Crypt the Creature just finished modelling an M60 from Call of Duty. I'll be learning animation soon. Lessons are getting hella brutal. How much time do you work on these? Well, I'm in bed most of the time, and I'm not making that up, Carmen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I people.
I tried waking you.
People think I work hard, and I don't. I sort of work intensely. Like, I'll get absorbed in something, and I'll sit in the same chair for about 7 hours. But I've never felt pressure when it comes to working on animation. It's just something I wholly enjoy as a hobby. It's something fun to do. And it's all self-taught YouTube tutorials. I did go on an animation course at the age of 17. They let me in a year early because of my show. That was a mistake, because I didn't last 6 months. But it was fun. It was a good experience. Chloe Stars, hi Sam, it's been a while. How are you doing? I have a question. Is the Satellite City series cancelled to make room for new stuff? See you soon. Kind of. Like, the Satellite City character. What made Satellite City? You know, what made that show? It was the characters. I mean, 95% of that show was dialogue and the characters philosophizing. I think that's what made people so sort of attracted to it, because it was slow paced. It was more of a drama, and so so cancelling would assume that those characters are gone now, but they're not. It's getting upgrades, people, upgrades. So you're getting more of those characters than ever. Only you're getting more quality sort of, you know, products relating to them. Satellite City was something that was fun. I enjoyed. I liked testing things out. I didn't really know what direction I was going in, but now I know what direction I want to go in, and so I'm taking that direction. And so that's why Satellite City is more of a peripheral thing now. But things like First Night, which I might or might not do this year, depends on how quickly we come out of lockdown, to be honest, and how this book goes and shit. Loads of variables and moving parts, but the definite thing is you will get more of these characters than you could ever want in the form of my books, and then the adaptations in thereafter. So Kira Alfano, interesting. Hope you're doing well. Quick question: What is your personal favorite video that you have uploaded onto your channel? Mine is Celia's animation test. I would have to agree. My most recent animation tests, I think, have been fantastic compared to what I usually uploaded in the past. Look, going back to those old animation tests, it's like, fuck me, I actually uploaded this. I thought this was okay, and people liked it. How? So my newer animation tests, I'm actually very proud of. But my favorite is the book teasers. I really like the August View animatic, the Lucy animatic, the Helgen animatic. Even though they're not animation, I think they represent more clearly than any other content on my channel my style of writing and how I like to, because animation is quite limiting, because there's only so much I can do or have the characters say, because I need to animate every fucking word, every lip movement. But with those book teasers, I can get across the visuals that I want to get across in a nice sort of simple stylistic way. But with language, I'm not limited. I can say exactly what I want to say, and that's why writing this book has been the greatest sort of, you know, joy in my life so far. It's just been like there's nothing holding me back. The only thing, my only limit is the amount of words I know, you know, and you can always just learn more, you know. It's really good. France in Your Pants, that's a great name. Will we see Mannequin Locket, or maybe just why she's like that in the book? Did you get a chance to listen to the song I recommended last stream? No, I didn't actually. Remind me what that was. Or someone. Actually, don't bother. I'll go back and I'll check that out because I still have the stream archived. No, Mannequin Locket isn't a thing anymore. Locket, in the same way that Blind Winifred isn't a thing anymore, the character sort of evolved. In fact, let me just load up. Okay, so this is Locket's current model. Yes, I'm using 2.7 because 2.7 is still the most stable version since the 2.8 and 2.9 that keep crashing. But this is Locket as she appears in the book and in sort of any content from now on. This is the sort of design I went with. So Winifred, Sombra, and Locket are, known as the descendants in the book. They are all three of them the descendants of Freda. That's why they have similar sort of, antlers and, face shapes, ears. So this is her. And what we're gonna so Locket's animation test is up next. So these fucking tails are gonna be interesting, aren't they? And what I'm going to be doing in this stream, or at least starting in this stream, is rigging her face so she can actually express and do things. Because as you can see, I've got the actual rig done. Well, I might actually change it out because she's still got my old rig, which is partially why a lot of my old animations look so rigid, because the rig was quite limiting, and I've since upgraded that to the new version. These are the lights. I like to use natural lights. And then this is just sort of like a nice curved background. Very simple setup. It's mostly for the model, this file. But yeah, here she is. She's got her mane there. She's got nice big fluffy eyebrows, and she's got eyes on like this crest above her eyebrows and shit like that. What was that, Carmen?
In all of her glory.
Excuse me, Carmen?
All of her glory.
Excuse me?
At the same time.
You think you can just say this to me? There you go. It's better. So yeah, she's about 10 feet tall. I think. Let me think. I think Winifred's about 9 feet. Locket's 10 feet, and then Sombra is somewhere around 14 feet. I think. I haven't. I'll have to go back to their descriptions in the book. I might read a bit of Locket later if anyone's interested in learning more about her in this formation, because I know everyone's quite used to the mannequin sort of style, but that was more so as a way of, because I hadn't actually designed her yet, so it was a way of keeping her design up in the air so I could have her character appear in Satellite City without a sort of revealing any solid design work. But now that I've actually got the design, I'm free to sort of use it. Someone just said you have no right to talk, Carmen.
What?
Someone said you have no right to talk.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, that's right,
Who
Carmen.
said that?
That's fine.
I'm just gonna write banned.
Samsona Shaw said you have no right to talk.
Fuck out of here, Sam Sonar Shaw. Monster. I'm gonna give an angry react.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna clear the user transformations here, which is basically just gonna make a sort of starfish out. Get rid of that. Yeah, low poly is the way to go if you wanna avoid. Okay, so we'll just be working on her like this. Okay, so I will get started on this in a second. First of all, I just want to have a few more moments to prepare myself, because I've got a message on. Oh, never mind. It's just Discord telling me that I'm streaming in my own server, which I don't make.
Are you streaming, Sam?
Am I streaming? Carmen, come over and say hello to these people. Come over and let them bask in your glory.
All of my glory.
Carmen, come here.
So much.
Come to me, Carmen.
Jesus Christ. My knees. I exist.
This is what I won in the Christmas cracker last year. I don't know what it is. I don't know what its function is.
A fucking blessed pastel dust in the background calling me ominous.
You are ominous. You're a fucking strange
Ominous.
thing. Do your backwards voice, Carmen. Do it.
I can't.
Do your
I
backwards.
can't do shit on command. Don't squeeze me.
Look at her. She's like a little lamb. She's like a little, you know. Look at her. She's like Ezio Auditore Deferente from Assassin's Creed.
I've never played Assassin's
Look
Creed.
at her.
Just watching all the things.
They're all. Look at you, Carmen.
I vibe.
What are you? Don't steal my tea. Don't you dare, Carmen. Get away from me.
It's very sweet.
Well, 2 sugars isn't sweet. That's just normal.
That's gonna give me diabetes.
Carmen, you're gonna give me diabetes.
That's gay.
Because she injects me with pure sugar every night. She's trying to take my legs, guys. Help me.
Hi, Sam.
What?
What?
Okay. Right, so fucking.
It's very sweet though.
Yeah, well, maybe your tea's, you know, strong. Even though they're equal in strength, I just like a bit of sugar in my tea. Two sugars. That's normal. You know, it's not like I have 3 or 4 like some people. Erica, for example. Erica, if you're here, you fucking.
Erica, I love the tea that you made whenever you were temporarily living with me, but like every time I drank it, I could feel my legs getting tingly.
You don't need to lie to her like that. Francis Newfan said that's a nifty woman right there.
I am nifty.
But Carmen, are you even human?
I am nifty.
Sometimes I see her skittering around in the dark. Sometimes she enters a room, but I don't see her enter. Sometimes I think I see her on the ceiling. I think I see her in places that I don't. Even just now in the background, you can see her just ominously lit by the glow of her laptop and the shadow just looming behind her. What is she? What is this creature? What does she want from me? Why is she here? He just stares at me from the back. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's actually get on with Locket here for a second. Okay. So, sorry, Locket, we have to take your clothes away, but that's okay because all the detail is off. So, keeping this stream safe for work. So don't worry. Okay. So we're going to create a shape key right now. In fact, what I should probably do is this is an old rig, but I can keep a lot of the information, so I'll do it anyway. Because what you can do is you can copy across certain elements of old rigs. So either way, I'm doing it. You can't stop me. Cursor to select. So this will be her jaw bone, which is gonna basically, when we move this controller down, we'll move this onto another layer. This is going to be her jaw controller. Now we want it to go down and to the left and to the right, but we don't want it to go forward and backwards. So you'll have these things here. I don't know why I'm bothering to like fucking, you know, do this like a tutorial, because it's not like anyone's going to be able to follow along with my drollish tones. What's the deal with Sullivan? Is he in the book at all? No, Sullivan is not in the book. He was just sort of my way to interact with the characters. But you'll be seeing Sullivan again. He's fun. So there we go. So this is pretty much what we want. So it goes up, down, left, right, but it doesn't go forward or back. So this is the jaw mechanism. To give you a very brief idea of how this works, I'm going to create a shape key. I'm going to call this jaw. We're going to go into edit mode. What we'll do is we'll probably add on like one subdivision so we can just better articulate her mouth. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab her lip here. And we're just going to... Oh, hang on. There you go. Right. We're going to grab elements of her jaw that we want to move, like this. like so. Make sure that we've got X mirror on, yeah. And then all we're going to do very simply is we're going to move her mouth down. So I don't know how wide her mouth is going to be able to open, but I can imagine her being able, like, she's not always going to open up, she's not going to talk, like, but sort of you just want to get a rough idea. Most of the time, obviously, when I'm animating her speak or something, it'll be more, you know, akin to just sort of little movements, like, you know, about this far and shit like that. Looks like kind of like a marionette. But you always want that potential for your characters to open their mouths, quite a big deal, especially if they have large seams along, you know, because obviously Locket has these extra lips bearing these fearsome teeth, so obviously we're going to want to see some of those, some of that action. I want to see Locket scream. So all we're going to do is we're going to add a driver, and, you know, that just sort of sits there. And we're going to rename this bone here to jaw. We're going to split the view. We're going to go into the graph editor, load up the drivers, go into the keys, the jaw here. We're going to go into average values. We're going to select Locket armature. We're going to select jaw. We're going to go to Y location. We're going to go to local space. We're going to go to modifiers, add generator. We're going to do maybe -7 or something like that. And there you go. And that's just the up and down motion of it. That's a bit too strong actually. So what we'll do is we'll probably change that to a -4. And we just want to sort of still strong. So -2. And you just want to have it, there we go, perfect, that's it. And that is the essence of rigging a character's face. You just do that a fuck ton of times, and the more shape keys you have, the more malleable your character's face is. Now, in case you're curious about the teeth here, because obviously the teeth are sort of being left behind, well, that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to open the mouth, like so. We're going to go into the teeth, and we're going to give those, oh, not vertex colors, shape keys. And we're going to give them a mouse shape key as well. Okay, Bulldozer. Hi, Fenner. Huge fan of your work. Just wanted to show my support. Keep up the phenomenal work. Thank you, Bulldozer717. That means a lot. That means an incredible amount of things to me. Okay, so usually you want to work with at least one sort of subdivision layer on, just so you can sort of see roughly where it's going to go. We're going to select these. And we're going to sort of anticipate that these are going to go down with the jaw, obviously, to some extent. Locket's tongue and gums aren't in yet. This stream is just basically me. I don't know. I've got to do it eventually, so you know, you're not going to see the full fucking rig finished, obviously, tonight. But you're going to be able to see some form of progress here. So there we go. So now we want that to move down like that. So how do we do that? Well, that's very easy. You just copy the driver, and then you paste the driver, like so. And then all you do is sometimes you just need to give it a bit of a jump start by just typing in jaw again, and there you go. Boom. And there you have that. Now, of course, her mouth is only going up and down. Whereas if you actually look at a lot of jaws, they can go left to right, and that's how you get some more natural movements. So let's look at doing that. So let's do jaw and then right. Now, some tutorials will say that you should do it to, like, you know, her left or her right, but because I always animate faces facing them, right is this side because it's my right. It's just less confusing rather than the character's right, if that makes sense. Because I'm gonna spend my entire time animating her face, looking at her face in a mirror sort of way. So right for me is over here, even though that's her left. If that makes sense. I remember seeing a tutorial saying it the other way around, but it didn't make much sense to me, considering you're not going to be animating a face from the back of their head. So for the sake of simplicity, so this is also quite simple. You just want to sort of drag the jaw. You can do it to sort of like a silly degree if you want. Just even if the jaw never goes this far, it's always good to just sort of give yourself that option. because you never know what the rig's what's gonna be required. And then we'll just do the other way, like so. And now that we've done the basic driver setup, we can copy that driver and then paste that there. That way it's got most of the settings saved, except we want to go it on the X location, right? So modify it, and then this is -2, but we're going to do +2 because we want it to go the other way, like this. You see this now? It's starting to sort of pull, except we're probably going to need a bit more strength here. So we're going to go like that. Boom. Maybe 4.5 or maybe 5 in general. Yeah, that's fine, 4.5. And then we do the same for the other way. So we go copy driver, jaw left, R left, and this time this is going to go the other way, so we're going to do -4.5. Give that a bit of a jump start, and before you know it, boom!
Look at her go.
You've got this fucking sort of cool dynamic going. Now, of course, again, you're wondering, well, the teeth, once again, they are left behind by their mother jaw. So we will push this over here, and we will do the same thing, jaw right. Hang on. As Killionaire, I love the world you have created. Bless your imagination. Thank you. I do try. My goal was to create something alien and weird that was semi-representative of human society, but not. I'm a big fan of George Orwell and H.G. Wells and all those sort of otherworldly writers, so obviously I wanted to sort of take fiction in my own unique sort of direction, and the Kiverwhack is what came from that. A society sort of representative of the id, the suppressed naturalistic urges of humanity, ranging from all sorts of instincts, from political, societal, cultural, carnal, you know. That's sort of what you've got. So copy driver, paste driver, boom, and there we go. And now, as you can see, oh, look at that! The teeth are following. Okay, so let's reset, and let's do the same with the other way. Jaw.l jar. For those asking how long it takes to learn all of this, I've been doing this for about 7 years, but I've been working on this process like in my first year of working with Blender. I pretty much learned how to do this. Again, self-taught. It's you could argue that it's a little bit slower, but it lasts longer generally. Being told something by someone else generally doesn't stick in your head as long as if you actually learn it yourself, because the learning process is the journey, you know. So if someone just tells you how to do it outright without all the trial and error, the trial and error, that suffering, is exactly what embeds it in your brain and teaches you how to sort of do this shit by heart. So and there we go. So now we've got like a pretty good sort of jaw mechanism going for Locket. So that's the bottom jaw. Now, obviously, when she shuts her jaw, that's going to be quite a sharp thing. That's not going to look natural. So we want an element of squish, which is just what we're going to call it. Squish. And this is effectively going to be when her mouth sort of, when I move this up too far, rather than locking in place, creating this jarring sort of effect which then snaps open, it's going to squish when we move this up. And that's just a very simple case of I don't know, selecting the lips, sort of squashing that down, maybe giving it an element of me, maybe even do this. So her lips back here pull together. It might be a good way of controlling that. Maybe some part of her nose, you know, in the same way that when we press our lips together, they sort of purse. Little details like this, like that. You see that? Just a little squish. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the jaw. We're going to copy that because that's on the same sort of axis. Squish. We're going to do +2. jaw, and there we go. You see that? And that way, let's actually increase the value of that to 4. That way, you get this much more natural sort of. So when she closes her mouth, it's not this sharp snap shut. You get this nice bounciness. See that? That's what you want. In fact, I might even increase that to 6, maybe, just so it's maybe even more. 8. You don't want there we go. That's a bit better. So now you get this much more sort of natural effect. Now, another thing is you'll notice that the lips are just sort of sliding under each other with no friction, and yes, there is something we can do about that. And this is all, by the way, this is all controlled by one bone, all of it. So far we've got mouth going up, mouth going down, mouth going to the right, to the left, and squishing the face, and it's all controlled from just one bone. It looks a bit odd because she hasn't got her gums or her tongue in yet. This is just, I'm just sort of setting up the basic rig for later because I'm gonna need it for her next animation test. You know, she's just chewing right now. She's just like, but yeah. In fact, what we can do here is with this jaw, we could even start to add in some tiny, small little details, because when the face opens up, it sort of stretches a bit, and that creates this sort of effect. So when she opens her mouth now, it's very minute, but the whole face sort of pulls down. You see that? Around the eyes, which is actually what happens to a human face. So you get this more sort of elastic effect. So what do we do about those lips? Well, let's take a look. Let's call this lips and right. So when her mouth goes this way, what do we want to happen here? Well, let's take a look at that. What we can do is we can sort of pin that in place and edit things as we see fit. Okay, right. So I'm thinking something. That moves the lip up a bit and this lip down a bit, like that. Right. So as they slide past one another, you'll get that sort of natural lip movement. So we're just going to go to the jaw to the right because it's on the same axis. It's the same value as well. We want it to go along nicely. And we're just going to, again, so sometimes you just have to type in the jaw. So now the lip sort of lifts up and allows the other one to slide through. We might need to actually extend that value a bit just so it happens a little bit earlier. There we go. See that? So now the lip is sort of naturally lifting up, which you know, which you'll find that your lips actually do. If you move your jaw left to right, do that now, you'll notice that your top lip is actually curling around to accommodate that movement. It's just how the face works. We'll do that the same thing here. Lift that, droop that. In fact, we'll copy this value this time just because I quite like how I did that first time. So we'll do that, only this time we'll add a minus on, and then we'll do a jaw again. There we go. So now you've got this more accommodating mechanism in place, which, you know, again, which with her, because again, she doesn't have any teeth. She's got these back teeth here, but she doesn't have any teeth. So yeah, it looks a bit weird without the gums and the teeth in, because obviously, you know, this lifting up looks a bit odd because it's not lifting up to reveal anything, but you know, if you can imagine there being teeth there, that's going to look pretty good. And that's sort of the process, you know. Same for everything. So we'd have to do the same for the eyelashes and make sure that they are. I like that better actually. So for these eyelashes, obviously because they exist on their own layer and that they're a different mesh, in the same manner as the teeth. You would need to pin those in place or rig them alongside. It's not always easy to rig things alongside. Things like for example with Celia, all those piercings on her body, I didn't rig those. They were actually pinned to the vertices, so the piercings would actually be hooked onto those areas of the body, so whenever I moved the mesh, it would automatically stick to wherever I moved it to. And that's the sort of gist of it. So I'll save that, and I'll go back. I'll take a bit of a break because I think that's a pretty good place to lean back in my chair. Read through some comments. Yeah. Hang on a minute. Placeholder message about awesome models. Uber Cats SR. I don't know what that means, but thank you. Alright. Joshua Smith, hello, just wanted to show support. Also wondering about any possibility of a 3 plus. What's that? Is that plus sized?
What?
Was that just a large Lucy shirt in store? Hope you have a god year. Well, I can only hope for a god year. But yeah, ×3 sort of Lucy. Oh, here we go. Hang on. Let's see what this came up with. Yes. So I'm gonna reveal something to people now. So people have been curious, I imagine. The Winifred animation test. What's fucking taking it so long? You know, why is it taking forever? The answer to that question is because, in part, I decided to set Winifred's fucking horns on fire, which is one frame of which is what you're seeing on screen now.
One whole frame.
This shot is about 7 seconds long, and the data required to simulate that fire is 14 gigabytes. In case you're wondering, yes, she's on a throne comprised of some of our favorite characters.
Yeah. I'm just gonna put a nice little F.
Yeah, so there's Flight. You can see Fleischer and Felicity there, but there are more. And at the very last shot, I thought it would be very cool for her horns to light on fire. That'd be good, wouldn't it? And so I set about doing that, and it has delayed the fucking upload for the fucking test by at least a few days, because well, obviously I've got to render this now. I mean, I did all the fucking baking, so now I've got to render it. She can't actually do this in the canon of the show or the book or anything, but I thought it would be a cool effect for the animation test, you know, because she's quite an apocalyptic force. So this is just sort of artistic license right now that you're seeing. She can't actually do this, obviously, because fire is not good. But for the sake of the animation test, I figured it'd be okay to you know, to do this. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it came out. It's fire is hard to do. It's not so hard to generate, but it's quite hard to texture, and obviously you need an extraordinarily powerful computer. There's no way I could have done this on my old Mac. It would have burned with Winifred right there, or with her horns at least. So I thank my Apex computer for allowing this simulation to take place. Similarly to the Celia test with her hair and her pools of blood. So yeah, that's that in a nutshell is why this animation test in particular has been taking so long. I'm now trying to figure out how to... There we go. Well, there you go. As for how long it's going to be until the actual test is up, fuck knows. Maybe a few more days. I don't know. I'm just checking it now. Right. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on there. Where can I buy your book, Veren Negos? It's not out yet. I haven't finished it. It's almost done. It's about I'm on the last 3 chapters now. So not long at all. And that's draft 1, of course, but it will be done this year. It'll be out this year. You'll be able to buy it. I do aim. I'd be an idiot not to self-publish, given the fact that I have an audience sort of ready-made. You know, and you know, I don't see why I can't use the self-publishing sales to help me get a better deal of actual publishing. You know, because publishing is always it's a tug of war. You know, they always want something from you, either the rights or they want you to compromise your vision or something like that to make it more sellable. So they can fuck off. You know, so I'm definitely going to self-publish first, because make Locket twerk like Lucy, please. That you would not want to see that. Locket can dance, but not that type.
Would she even be able to?
With all those tails, I mean, it would be very strange.
You give yourself a black eye.
Yeah, fuck me. Yeah. I'll read a bit of Locket from the book in a bit, just so you guys can sort of get a taste of sort of who she is, her character. You know, her what the fuck was I talking about? Her animation test is next after Winifred. Fuck knows how that's gonna go, because you know, like, she's physically, like, I think the most complex character. In terms of simulation, it's easily Celia with that hair and those piercings, and even her coat. But in terms of physical complexity, it's Locket. Just by virtue of those tails alone. So yeah. Fuck. I might not stream as long tonight, just because we've got to go to the shops, and well, there's a break in the storm because there's like it's very windy the past day or two over here in the land of UK.
It was trending on the UK about it being windy.
Yeah, it was. So we're gonna have to pop down to the shops and get some food. What do you want for dinner tonight, Carmen? Food.
Yeah.
What type of food, Carmen? What type of food do you want, Carmen? Do you want to eat? What type of food, Carmen? Carmen?
It's a lot of questions.
Carmen? 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 Can I take your rat?
No! That's my son. Do not hurt him. Fuck, we can get, we do need to get vegetables. I do want to get more potatoes. Because you can do pretty much anything with a potato.
A potato? Do you want to try and make our own crisps? Like our own brand of crisps? Wouldn't that be good?
We could try.
Well, look, fucking...
I mean, we got a good knife, so, like...
Look, they
try
invented...
to cut them thin.
Look, Carmen, I'll be so fucking disappointed if we can't make our own crisps. You know?
You will be frying them because I'm scared of frying things.
What, sorry?
Like, if we fry anything, you're frying it because I don't want to. I'm scared to fry stuff. I have
No, I'm not sure if you've... I'm not
You
sure.
can make them.
I'm not sure how crisps are made. They were crisps. Look, if they were able to make crisps in 1895, I think. It was in the 1800s.
Still make them.
Then we can do it, surely. If they could make crisps 100 fucking years ago, then surely me and you, with all of our modern technology, you know, can create crisps. Surely we can do it, right? Think about it.
I burn water.
Fuck. Incredibly inspiring work. Keep up the amazing work, Kathleen Fogarty Animation. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you kindly. That means a lot. Oh God. My brain is doing something right now. Give me a second. I'm trying to fucking... Yeah, Carmen burnt water. She did it.
I can find a way.
Excuse me, Carmen?
What?
What did you just say to me, Carmen?
I can find a way.
Did you just dare say that to
We should
me?
get, pancake mix. We should try to make crepes. Since we actually have a frying pan now.
We could give it a go. I've never had a crepe before.
I used to be able to make them.
Okay, well you can make me a crepe then, an American. That's a very southern American dish, I believe.
No.
It's gotta be because I saw it in My Cousin Vinny. That's the most South film.
You get crepes everywhere in the United States. If you want southern, then that would just be grits.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. Grits.
Yeah.
It's not crepes. Sorry, what am I talking about? Grits. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Grits are nice.
No, I've had crepes before. I was thinking of grits.
No, crepes are, they're like the
No, I know the.
pancake burrito.
Yeah. Can you make grits?
What?
Can you make?
Make grits?
Yeah. You're gonna find out.
I
Okay.
mean, you just get the stuff and you mix it with water and yeah.
Water. Okay.
Water.
Let me find a little Locket extract for people to enjoy while we wait. I'm doing it, okay. Well, how about I'll read a little bit from the book just to give people a sort of feel for Locket's energy, for her vibe.
I love her energy.
There's also a bit of Felicity in there as well. So if anyone's interested in hearing a little bit of dialogue between Locket and Felicity, then people are mocking the way you say water. At least one person.
I hate your chat now. Leave me alone. Please. I'll scream.
Oh, excuse me. Alright, well, I'll wrap up this stream with a little extract from the book pertaining to Locket. I won't go through the description, obviously, because, you know, that's earlier in the story. And plus, you guys know what she looks like. Okay. This extract is called The Nurturing of an Intelligent Mind. This is from the book I'm writing, by the way, in case anyone's curious.
You're writing a book?
I'm writing a book, Carmen. I'm doing it. I'm trying to, anyway. Up the walls and onto arching ceilings of filed knowledge, Locket led Felicity, pointing far into distances and naming them. That blue area is the Eisenspine, home of mathematics and numerical reckonings. She pointed to another. Down there you might spot a faint yellow light. That's the entrance to Amberlight, where all fiction is held, stories conjured up by poets and beautiful thinkers. Beyond that is Hellsire, where we keep our records of criminal charges, trials, inquiries, and the names of those executed, and Yoshin reports. It's all so organized, Felicity exclaimed. How is it made? I mean, not just the library, but this whole city. It's good to ask questions, Felicity, but an answer without the foundational knowledge to understand it is quite worthless, Locket gently advised. Not even a little bit of a hint? A little knowledge is a dangerous thing. All in good time, little one. After a rather pleasant stroll up through the high-rise bookshelved area, around the exterior of the Brownian room, Locket sat herself upon a quiet Sombrarian bridge. She allowed her feet to dangle over the edge, planting her palms flat upon the floor behind her. Felicity joined her, resting like a horse would, curled onto her side. On my way into the city, I was met with quite the display of brutality, Felicity said, beginning to relax as Locket seemed to exude calm reason. I'm sure you were. It was necessary, no doubt. Felicity inhaled and looked to Locket's face, such a gentle thing. Why? She asked. Why the brutality? Yes. Locket turned to meet her gaze. Equality, she answered. Equality? Tell me, how do we place value on our fellow Kivawakians? Do we judge one based on their physical appearance? Is that fair? Felicity shook her head. No. Their size, perhaps? No. The location of their birth? No. Their eyes, maybe? The shade of their skin, their sex, their hair, the shape of their teeth, or the length of their tails? No, what does all that matter? Precisely, I say, biological irrelevancies. The small may slay the large may outthink the small, precisely. Locket placed a finger to her chin and looked to Felicity as a teacher would a student. What about their mind? Well, yes, Felicity nodded. What about their ability to run, jump, swim, and fly? I can see that too. You think intelligence, vision, and talent should be the criteria for respect? I do, that makes sense to me. I agree, fully, Locket smiled. But how do we know who is intelligent, insightful, and talented at birth? We don't. There's no way of knowing, right? Correct. How do we find out? A rhetorical question, as Locket knew that Felicity understood her angle already. You wait and see who does something, and if they do something wonderful, they might just become something wonderful. And the ones who don't or can't, they become nothing. Severity is the byproduct of excellence. It's harsh, true, but it's also fair, Felicity. It's fair. So that's why killing is lawful here. How do you avoid anarchy? Locket smiled, for it was a good question and one born of an outsider's blameless curiosity. The laws are guidelines by which the public live. Should they be broken, then fair Yoshin punishment shall fall upon their heads. Killing is lawful because it's a tool used to weed out incompetence, but like any tool, it can be misused. So how do you control it? Our social contracts. Should a killing be carried out for a good reason, grounded in intelligence, fairness, or effectiveness, then it is not only allowed, but encouraged. However, should we have a mindless bloodletter on our streets, killing and fighting for no other reason than the lack of wit or direction, then they'll soon find themselves dealt with. A frail mind is just as unattractive as a frail body. Both are equally punishable. You encourage competition, so you allow your citizens to kill, Felicity confidently spoke, and due to that freedom they self-manage, removing the undesirables out of a want to serve themselves. You learn fast, little miss. Very good, Locket congratulated. The less a government looms over its citizens, the more those citizens produce, think, and contribute. Bound wings cannot take flight, only do they ache. It's different from Black and Rend. Anyway, I'll keep going for a bit, fuck it.
Yeah, right, you will.
Excuse me, Carmen? It's different from Black and Rend. There, we're all equal. All of us. Equally lame, no doubt, gestured Locket. Come, tell me about it. How many are in your little society? Well, Felicity shifted with discomfort. There's more in Black and Rend than those living here. In the Thumb, you mean? Or the library? In the city? Locket too shifted with unease. And what about this obscure concept, a prophet? Nonsense, so Fleischer says. Good, reject that rubbish. You know there's a difference between education and intelligence. Just because you don't understand a thing now, it doesn't mean you're not capable of learning. Equally, you may have entire libraries stored within your memory, but what good is all that knowledge if you can't apply it? Well-educated fools and uneducated prodigies. Another reason for the equality that brutality brings. A fool may only pretend for so long. Do you think I am intelligent? Felicity seemed eager for Locket's praise. Your education is something to be wept for, but I do. Certainly above average. Thank you, Grand Voice, the outsider thanked and beamed. Locket reached into her coat and pulled out 2 bottles of liquid laughter. She handed one to Felicity and grinned. A bit of twisted lip for me and a chuckling grin for you. Quinn and Fleischer said I'm not allowed to drink this stuff. We're being a little naughty, true. Shall we not tell them? Okay, Felicity giggled, taking a light swig. If I might ask, why were your Yolsh in the glaze? Locket took a hefty gulp from her drink and dried her chin with her sleeve. You first, little one. I was running. Why? You know Black and Rend. You know it's a horrible place. I had to get away. I expect more information than that, but I'll accept the answer for now, cautioned Locket. As for the Yolshan presence in the glaze, you need only read an Inkhouse paper. We were looking for Aurelian. Why? Locket was about to laugh, but had to remind herself that she was speaking to an outsider, and so she composed herself. Do you know what a bank run is? Fleischer or Quinn might have mentioned it. It's okay to say no. Admitting what you don't know is the only way you'll learn. No. Well, it's all rather simple. Our whole method of trade and economy runs on a straightforward system of supply and demand. The invisible hand? Sombra gave you that speech, did he? Very good. But you see, institutions are not the only things on the market. There are also resources, raw resources. Things such as wood, metal, spice, stone, bright fluid, herbs, paint, and of course, Aurelian. After all, who builds these institutions? Who maintains them? How do the dollies keep their bodies perfumed? How do the choppers flavour their food? How do the inkers create their ink? With resources found in the glaze. Locket glanced at Felicity to ensure that she was following along. With a nod of confirmation, she continued. Well, one of the most used resources is Aurelian. It's not only used... It's used in almost everything you can think of. It's a strong solid, but can be melted and mixed into a robust binding paste. It's pretty to look at, and so is used as a decorative framework for most establishments. Its chemical properties are beyond any other element. It's extraordinarily valuable, but all things are finite. The government has to control its exportation. Exportation, that's a new word to me. Export, to move products and resources into the city, between districts, Locket defined. Ah, got it, Felicity nodded. So you control the flow, correct? Correct. And we do this for all the resources. We send out Yolshan scouting parties, we find the materials, we find the ores, the metals and spices. We have them brought to the Thumb, where it is processed, weighed and valued based on demand, and then we send it out incrementally to stock the book burrows. And the book burrows, alongside the trading of books, obviously they manage contracts with local businesses, keep them stocked and receive all paperwork pertaining to that business, the sales, the expenditure, the profit. They process that information, send it all the way back up through the whispers of the Hammerlow, right up to where we're standing in the Malem Library. The book burrows are the enablers of trade, the ground on which the businesses and lawmakers meet. I think I get it, Felicity nodded slowly. And a bank run? Well, now that I've explained the basics of the system, I can go a little further. The grand voice cleared her throat and toyed with her bottle as she spoke. It is a thing brought about by fear and anxiety. A lot of businesses rely on the boroughs. They act as a connector between the government and the city. They are the banks that hold the lifeblood of business. They control a whole lot with very little. In order for the system to work, the businesses need to believe that the boroughs are stocked with whatever they require. Of course they are not. They move product in and out, but they never have everything all at once. They rely on variation of business They rely on the variation of business to ask for different things at different times. It's all run on trust. Trust, indeed, confirmed Locket. But say a rumour is spread, a rumour that suggests the flowers have wilted, or the fine woods have rotted, or the Aurelian supply is dwindling. She turned to Felicity. Say that happens, the panic rises and the trust falls. What is a business to do? Their best to survive? No matter how selfish, indeed. Interests must be protected, and so they all flock all at once to their local book borough and make rash deals. The borough doesn't have the resources, for they simply cannot withstand the sheer demand, not all at once. One borough falls into liquidation, then the next and the next, falling one by one. All because of a rumour, all because of fear. Locket smiled darkly to herself. And here's the funny part. The rumour could be just that. Words, invisible things, yet so easily do they conquer. Ironic, fear has a habit of validating itself through the actions of the frightened. In our efforts to escape it, we make it true, and bring about terrible things, all self-inflicted. And that's where I'll leave it. So, you're getting a bit more of this sort of political drama side there.
Love she.
Locket is educating Felicity on how shit works. Michaela Bivens, $100. Jesus, thank you. You write beautifully. Thank you for blessing us with your talent. You're very welcome. Although I'm not sure it's quite a blessing yet, but we'll see. You know, so there you have just a bit of, you know, just a little bit of an extract there. Ugh. So obviously, you know, you've got. It's not. I mean, it's semi-plot related, but it doesn't spoil anything. You know. Yeah. It is a political drama. So when you read the book or when you get the book, don't be expecting like an action thriller. Obviously, there's some elements of intense action in there. But it is a political drama, so most of the book's meat is in characters and the descriptions of the world, the lore, the world building, and obviously the dialogue between the characters. And it is spiced regularly enough with some good sort of action, particularly towards the middle and end. So yeah. I hope you all enjoyed that little extract. And with that, the stream is about an hour long. And I will leave it there. Oh yeah, there's no sort of good and evil in the book. I was sure to avoid something like that. Obviously, you have characters who are less pleasant than others, but the world, in my opinion, the world isn't comprised of good and evil. It is comprised of perspectives, conflicting perspectives, and some of those can be quite sickening. But things are nuanced in the real world, particularly politics. And this book, I suppose, was written in rejection to the idea that, that the idea that things are just a yin and a yang, and you have the good guys and the bad guys, and there's a villain and a hero. And I never enjoyed those stories growing up. I always found them fucking laborious, because you always know the big evil empire is going to fall and the fucking valiant rebels are going to win. There's no tension there at all. So when writing The August View, I thought, well, every perspective is grounded in something, no matter how vile or sick or justified. So why not create a story that represents the nuance and complexity of the political landscape in which we live now, and have lived it in historically? Why not use this as an opportunity to really get into some good characters, So and also I sort of want to rescue the concept of politics, if I can at all, at least for the people who read. If you look in almost every work of fiction, from Guardians of the Galaxy, I think, definitely Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I might have been mixing those two up, but yeah, with the Vogons, you look at The Dark Crystal, you look at Star Wars, almost, Aragon. Politicians and the world of politics has always been sort of shat on in fiction. The heroes are always the rebels, and the villains are always the status quo, the political system, and politicians are always depicted as old, dusty, browbeaten fuckwits who don't know what the fuck they're doing. And that's very true of how politics sort of is. But there's very few stories that show us how politics ought to be. And so that's why the politicians in my book are beautiful and angelic and intelligent and witty and sharp and competent. because rather than dedicating my creative energies to shitting on what politics is, I would like to imagine what a landscape where politics is interesting and something to be aspired to, because I think that's what politics should be. Politics is a wonderful tool. With a hammer you can build a house, or you can smash someone's head in. Does that mean we should all hate and ban hammers? Not at all. Does that mean we should replace the hammerhead from steel to sponge? No, because then it's quite useless. We shouldn't pacify or nullify these powers. We should learn to use them competently, and at least in terms of fiction, I want to sort of paint a world where, yes, politics is complicated and you do get ideas that are undesirable, but fuck's sake, you've got to learn to use this tool. And what's very saddening is that a lot of people who should be politicians now aren't, because politicians politics is this bad word. I don't talk about politics. Oh, I hate politics. God, I can't stand politics. That's sad. It's almost like, for me, it's like someone saying, oh, I hate music, I hate art, because politics is the art of progress. It's the art of making things better, and the fact that people are scared of that is sad. And so when I wrote while I'm writing my political drama, The August View, no, I reject that. Politicians should be intelligent, witty, funny. They should be brilliant, beautiful. They should be aspired to. They should be the height of sophistication. They should be educated, intelligent. They should be just marvelous people, beings. And that's not what we've got. We're running in fear of the one thing that could save us. The hatred of politics. So anyone worth a damn, anyone worth their salt, people who should be in politics right now, they're not. They're doing something else. They are in other trades. I've seen so many people who would make great politicians who just didn't, because they grew up with a story or fiction or this idea that, well, politics is bad and politicians are bad and they're all cronies and, oh, it's a swamp. And yeah, maybe it is. Well, who's going to fix it? Because if we don't fucking try, if you don't go in and be the new generation of thinkers, who's going to take over? Yeah, it's a mess. Go and fucking fix it. Let's fucking fix it. Let's do something about it. Fuck's sake. And so if I can inspire even just a few people through this book to look at politics in a new light, that's like, you know what? I want to be a politician one day. I like Locket, I like Methuselah, I like Sombra, I like these characters. I want to be like them when I grow up. I don't want to be the rebel blowing up the Death Star. I want to be the guy fucking, running the way the world should be, rather than fucking focusing on daydreams of fucking, burning everything fucking down and saying, oh, you know what, they're all fucked, let's just do away with the whole lot. No, let's use it. Let's take it, for ourselves. You know what I mean? God, like, politics is a wonder of the world. It is up there with philosophy, science, and art. It is one of the most fantastic things ever brought about by the human mind. And it has been responsible for some wonderful things and some terrible things. But it is a tool, and a tool is very much blameless. You cannot blame the hammer for being wielded by a psychopath. So take the hammer off the psychopath and use it to build something wonderful. And I think if ever there was some form of message that I wanted to get across with any of my work, it would be that. Let's read some of these. A little present for your hard work. Jazek, thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. I'll go towards the rendering because I'm fucking going to need it for this Winterford one. Loving the work and insight on life. Imogen Gould, thank you very much. I'm not sure if I fucking pronounced that right. But yeah. But yeah, I just can't fucking stand things like how they are right now. Things are things are fucked in a way that's just, you know, beyond, you know, or nearly comprehension. But storytelling is important. Fiction is important. Fiction is what we grow up with. Fiction is what teaches us. It's like the tutorial phase of life. It's what children ascribe to. And I genuinely think that in a lot of fiction, when you teach kids that there is good and evil in the world and it's two sides, light and darkness, I think that's a very damaging thing to teach a child, because they'll grow up thinking that. And how depressing is that people will grow up with this notion that the world is split into two halves of right and wrong and good and right. It's not always that simple. It's not always that simple. It's hard, it's complicated, it's nuanced, and it's not easy. You can't just delegate fucking good and evil in that way. Sometimes you can, in a way that's fucking like, you know, a murder is bad. Well, yeah, no shit, you know. But when it comes to the small print in particular, more complicated topics, it's not that easy. It's hard, and you know, and the solutions require extraordinary amounts of communication and thought between, you know, all people. Will there be an audiobook, Bill Nye, the Star Wars guy? Yes, I think so. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But Locket's government in the book, it's not a eugenical one. Eugenics is the lawful sort of, is basically where, you know, the law is used to force genetic purity. Locket's society isn't about force, it's about culture. Their culture values competence above all else, and they don't value incompetence at all. They don't value a lack of intelligence, and it is quite brutal. And again, it's another complicated thing. It's not so simple as to say, oh yeah, it's good and bad, because with Locket's society, you get things, you know, things are, you know, you get brilliant thinkers, you get inventors, you get progress, you get technological wonders and masterpieces, but at what cost? The cost of some form of human morality, perhaps? And how is that then challenged in the book? How does Locket refute the claims that Locket's law is evil, or Locket's law is bad, or Locket's law is unfair? You know, and how will this conversation take place? That's the sort of, you know, a lot of things that you're gonna sort of see in the book. But yeah. Going on a bit of a ramble here, Carmen.
Are you, Sam?
Going on a bit of a ramble.
Are you having a bit of a ramble?
Yeah. Yeah. It's one thing that I'll never not be disappointed by is so many people are unwilling to just have a conversation, even about the most remedial stuff. I've had people tell me that I'm a bad person because I don't like The Legend of Zelda.
You are a bad person.
Honestly, like, I've genuinely had...
I mean that as a joke.
You know, like, you know, all my opinions and philosophical ponderings on life as a person who's, you know, living in the same world, it's all invalidated because I don't like the same game as them. Like, and it's not like I don't like it, I just never played it. It's just I don't really have an opinion on it. It's like,
there was one thing that it had made me sad, because it was after we had watched My Neighbor Totoro with Jade, and like I had mentioned that I didn't like it. I was so disappointed by it because it's the face of it's the face of Studio Ghibli, and I was so excited to watch it. But then whenever I actually watched it, I hated it.
yeah.
It was not my taste. And then one of my old housemates, Ceci, love her to death, but she was upset that I didn't like it. She was like, "What?" Just like, I'm sorry, friend, but I can't. Can't get into it. He only appears like 3 times.
Yeah.
Or 4.
I think it's 4.
Where the fuck is my phone?
Incompetence can be used other points of view are important. There could be something competent might not see. Well then by virtue of it being valuable, it's not incompetence then, is it? Well, incompetence is incompetence, you know. So if what you're describing is something that's useful, then by virtue of it being useful, it's not incompetent then, is it? You know what I mean? Like for example, in Locket's society in the book, there are creatures that live there that have missing limbs that perhaps aren't as physically strong or intimidating as some of their peers, but they still hold power because despite some setbacks that they might have, they like Lucy's eyes are used in the book as an example of this. It's their ability to turn what others might see as a disadvantage to an advantage. That's the opposite of incompetence. That's competence in its purest form, you know, the ability to overcome hardship. And that Locket's law does not, you know, punish that. It rewards that. It encourages that to fight, you know, for your little piece of the world. Incompetence is effectively uselessness. And that's not necessarily a physical trait. It can be, I suppose, in the book if you know you're just fucking unlucky. But generally, it's a mindset. It's a mindset. So you'll see it in the book. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah, we've seen Princess Mononoke. We've been watching. Basically, our friend Jade comes around every week and we watch a Studio Ghibli film. We've been going through all the films. My favorite one so far is Castle in the Sky.
Castle in the Sky was really good.
Yeah, you know, it had a very coherent beginning, middle, and end. It was satisfying. It was quite funny. It was. They're all beautifully animated, of course, and I like the characters in a lot of them. My only criticism of Studio Ghibli films is I feel like they forget what the fuck they're doing halfway through. Like they'll set up a brilliant story and then like Howl's Moving Castle had this interesting thing about a war going on and there's someone trying to steal his powers and all this shit going down, and then she kisses a fucking turnip at the end and he fucking hops away on a pole, and that's the end of the.
He's the prince.
I was like, what the fuck am I? What? I was looking forward to like seeing some sort of resolution. It's like a fucking turnip the whole film. What's going on?
That was dumb.
I was what you?
That was fucking.
That was just fucking. The prince was a turnip that she just.
I like the rest.
I love the rest of the film, but it's just like that ending. It's like what the fuck? Because she needed a walking stick and randomly decided to pick up that exact stick, which happened to be a turnip, which happened to follow her around, she happened to kiss, which then happened to be the missing prince, which started the war, which then happened to end the war, which then resolved it. What are you? It's so contrived. You know.
I liked when Marnie was there, but that kind of that film pissed me off.
Yeah.
Like I have a love-hate thing with that one because, like, the blonde girl Marnie, she's the grandmother, but she's also like she has none of her memory. She's still a child, but she grew up and.
I don't know. Yeah, I said.
Why is she a ghost?
Oh, she's a ghost, but a kid. I know, it's so strange. Or is it a hallucination? Is it? If it's not ghosts, it's visions, and then how do her visions have conscious thought that actually happens? So is she psychic? It's like, what the fuck is going on?
I'm mostly upset about that one because I was shipping Marnie and the main chick.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah, I know. But then whenever it was revealed that, it's the grandmother, it was just kind of like, fuck.
Okay. Ghost Shrimp, have you ever seen Grave of the Fireflies? No, not yet. I think we're going to watch Thingio's Delivery Service next.
The only thing I know about that one, Witch Girl, and I remember watching the trailers to it on old VHS tapes.
Oh, right.
I think it was on like one of my Digimon movies.
Yeah, well, we're going to watch that one next, I think.
Angela Anaconda is my favorite Studio Ghibli film.
Yeah. Oh yeah, as Erica said, the August View has multiple perspectives. This isn't. this isn't like oh, you know, one side is right and the other side's wrong. There's I took the time to research a myriad of political philosophical beliefs and work them in honorably into the story as character in the form of the characters, and I didn't think it was very fair to sort of just humiliate one side in a way that makes it just look completely stupid and bad. Obviously you'll have parts where one philosophy wins over the other because of the context of the world that it's in, but it will very much be up to the reader to decide who's right and who's wrong, and that's the best way for a story to be. I don't think a story should have a message set in stone. The best stories, I think, are free to be interpreted in many different ways. So, you know, sort of articles from which you can pull many different ideas from them, as long as they are all by design and not accidental. So, yeah. Yeah, but I as Mayfly said, I don't like the good guys and bad guys thing. It's good. Conflict is good. Like, you know, conflict is fine. You can have an antagonist. I'm not against antagonists. Antagonists are fine, because you obviously need someone to, or certain characters to pose a threat. Obviously, antagonists are but an antagonist isn't a villain. An antagonist isn't a bad guy.
I mean, think of it this way. Going small brain. Dib from Invader Zim is technically an antagonist, but he's the good guy.
Well, then, in that case, he's the protagonist.
No, but he's not the main character.
Zim's not the main character.
No, Zim is the main character, but he's the bad guy. He's seen as the protagonist technically.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, exactly, yeah. So the protagonist is the villain,
yeah.
And the antagonist is what we would normally assume to be the hero. Yeah. So antagonists and protagonists are.
The antagonist is just the one that opposes the main character in the story.
No, yeah. So my story certainly has antagonists in it. There are antagonists, but they are not evil. They're in fact, you know, one of them is quite very human, and yet in the story it's like they are really fucking getting in the way of shit. And, you know, I want to see what the reader thinks of, like, oh yeah, ooh, you know, it's difficult, this, because, you know, what they're saying is so very human, but it's also so very, you know, against what makes sense in this. You know, it's, you know, sort of trying some new things out. You know, are you my antagonist, Carmen?
Yeah.
Fuck you. That's what I'm gonna.
Cunt.
Did you just call me a cunt, Carmen?
Bitch.
Did you just insult me, Carmen?
Yeah.
I will destroy you.
I'm sorry.
You know, you gotta love those characters though, when they're like, they have a song and it's like, I love being evil. It's evil and it's fun.
Is this one song by Voltaire?
Yeah.
It's literally called When You're Evil.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
bop.
Because here's the thing about evil people. They don't think they're evil. Evil people never acknowledge the fact that they're evil. The vilest human scum you will ever find in this world believe themselves to be good and wholesome. That's the truth.
I know too many people like that.
I know too many people like that
We're
as well.
both thinking of the same.
Yeah. There are so many people. The worst people in this world think they're right. They think they're good. That's what makes them so bad. You know? In fact, often the people who think they're bad, you'll find, are quite good people. They're just very self-conscious, or they've just had this horrible chain of events happen to them in a way that makes them feel, you know, guilty in some way. So, you know, I know I'm talking about that very literally, just off the back of a song about being evil. But, you know, just as a little thing out there, you know, the worst people you will ever meet will be, on the surface, the most outwardly virtuous, hiding their hatred and their fucking scumminess and their falseness behind the facade of their righteousness. That's what makes a bad person. And that's why you've always got to be careful, you know. And just be honest, you know. Don't say things because you think it sounds good. Say things if you believe it. Honesty is the best policy. It really is. You know. Oh, what's happening is I was streaming and then I got fucking sidetracked because I was supposed to end the stream fucking 24 minutes ago. You know. So, which I'm about to do because we need to go to the shop still.
Oh yeah, it's like 8:40.
Oh well,
Put on actual pants instead of just pajamas.
the co-op it closes at 11, so we're okay for it.
Yeah.
If there are any final rounds of questions, I'll get to those, and then we'll wrap it up. And I'll you know, like, thank you for joining me with you know, the you know, with the Locket model, and then an extract of Locket, and then my 20-minute ramble on things. Heisenthale will be in the book, but she's just going to be called Heisen. But she definitely is in the book. You're always welcome, Frilled Mayfly. I love your artwork and your animations. They're good.
Amberly, when are you finishing the Mike chinchilla? I like his hands.
I love Amberly's style, honestly. It's like that weird sketchy stuff that's very traditional. There isn't enough of that. It's a dying art, so anyone who has that ability to make things look that way, it's you know, it's good.
Amberly is very good at animating hands.
Absolutely. What's the approximate percentage of the planned story behind what you have? Hang on. What's the approximate percentage of planned story behind the story? Are you happy with so far? I'm not sure what that means, but well, I've almost finished the first book, and I've got 6 books planned. I hope that answers the question. But I'm happy with a good portion of it. Obviously, it's draft 1, so I need to, you know, go over that. Have you decided on a cover for the book yet? Not yet. I've got a few ideas in there, you know. How's the fire effect going? I haven't actually started rendering that. That what you just saw was just one frame that I rendered when I started the stream. That'll be probably going up tonight. Right now I'm just having Winifred.
Oh, that's cool. Play that again.
Yeah. Winifred's sitting on a pile of bodies comprised of our favourite characters. Singing the final part of the song while explosions happen behind her and her antlers set on fire, because that's what Winifred does.
I like how her neck moves like a python.
Yeah.
She's a snake.
Come up here and say goodbye, Carmen. Say goodbye to the good folks at home.
Let me just write out.
No.
Wait.
No.
U.
No.
B.
No. No.
U.
No. No.
T.
Come here,
I.
Carmen.
Products.
Come on, Carmen. Come on, Carmen. Come.
I was writing things.
Come.
Yes, lift me. Wait, no. I didn't mean it like that. I'm like sliding off your leg.
Good.
No, not good.
Well,
very bad.
Bye, everyone. This has been it's been a good time. It's been a good. I need another cup of tea. You robbed me of a sip, Carmen.
It was very
I
sweet.
stole a kiss upon your cheek, and now another one I seek. Why do you make these noises? Okay,
That's
right.
funny.
Well, fare thy well, everyone. It's been fun. We'll do another stream next week or something. This Maybe you could play something on your xylophone.
People can just leave suggestions. Like they'll just say, "Oh, play this song," and then I'll try to learn it by ear in 5 minutes.
Why do you end us all on a nice story comment? Tell us all a story.
I'm trying to think of a story that I didn't. Oh, I just remembered one. It is kind of awful. Did I ever tell you how I accidentally stole a cat?
Well, I hope you enjoyed the stream, everyone. Goodbye. It's been great.
I gave it back. It was following me home, like, on Halloween or something, and I didn't want to leave it in the dark because, like, people hurt cats on Halloween, so I took him home and then I put him back in the neighborhood. It's not that interesting, but it sounds a lot worse whenever you just say the beef, the meat of it. I feel like I should clarify that. No one would open their doors so I could return the cat to them because they thought I was a trick-or-treater. That's why. I also set my kitchen on fire before.